Much peace, much peace, much peace. What is up? Much love. Hope this is coming out live, coming through clear. For all those out there, if you want to come step up, come step up. If not, that's cool. Just have a listen in. But yeah, what I thought I'd be doing, I'll just have a little reading in continuation from this book that I got, Aboriginal Convicts. So it's basically a little bit about the history of Australian Aboriginals and Khoisan people and the Maoris exiles. So I'll read from chapter 9, sentences to instill terror. As the frontier continued to expand across the Port Phillip district in the 1840s, dozens of Aboriginal men were taken into custody following violent confrontations with settlers. These encounters often took place at far reaches of civilization, at shepherds' huts and isolated stations, and on squatters' runs. Given the vast distances between many of these locales and the Melbourne Law Court, judges were keen to be seen to be dealing sufficiently harshly with those Aborigines who appeared before the dissuade outlying settlers from taking matters into their own hands. Many of the conflicts arose through competition over land and resources. One such incident transpired on Monday, 19 October 1845. At sunrise, Coombra Cowan Kuniam and four other blackfellows forced their way into Brazel's small wooden house near Geelong. Kuniam, who Margaret Brazel later identified in court, was armed with a gun. One of the others took it from him, fired it into the air, and then returned the gun to Kunina. The men took some salt beef worth 2 shillings before pointing at one of the Brazel children and stating, "Plenty of fat." The worried mother thought this meant they intended to eat one of her children. It seemed more likely the men were justifying taking the salt beef by indicating the child was well enough fed, so taking food would not cause undue hardship to the family. Brazel was so convinced of the men's cannibalistic intentions that she cooed loudly to attract help, causing the intruders to flee. Denny's, the Shetler on whose farm Brazils built their hut, later captured Cunningham. On a subsequent visit to the hut since vacated by the Brazils, the property owner noticed the door had been broken. The hut was burned down in time later, an act that Denny's attributed to Aborigines. Following these incidents, Coombra Cowan Kuniam, alias Cornigonembronok, was arrested on the grounds that he did on the 19th day of October last feloniously break and enter the dwelling house of Mr. D. Brazel situated on the Murrumbul River in Geelong district and steal therefrom 10 pounds of beef values 2 shillings. When Kuniam appeared before the resident judge in Melbourne on 21st January 1846, Assistant Protector William Thomas interpreted. Redmond Berry was the defence counsel. Mr. Justice Therry was happy to concur that Barry's argument that as property was not properly described as laid down in 7 Carrington v. Payne, King v. Rawlins, the case must be considered solely in terms of larceny. This, said Therry, would be a safer course. The jury returned a guilty verdict, and Cunningham remained in custody to await sentencing on being informed on what outcome of his trial. Cunningham exclaimed, "Borak, Borak," which translates as, "No, not so." The following week he was sentenced to 7 years transportation. 4 months later, Cunningham arrived in Van Diemen's Land on the Flying Fish. Cunningham, who was allocated the convict number 625, was about 25 years old and stood 5 foot 5 inches 3/4 tall. He had a black complexion, large head, black curly hair that was cut close to his head, no whiskers, a round visage with a low forehead. His forehead was dominated by bushy eyebrows that overhung his black eyes. He had a large nose and mouth, thick lips, and a small chin. Described being a pagan who could neither read nor write. His trade was listed as labourer. Cunningham was assigned to a gang at Southport to serve 1 year's hard labour. He returned to the prisoners' barracks in Hobart on 19 June 1847. 3 months later, Cunningham was admitted briefly to hospital, but within several days he was sent to Jerusalem, present-day Colebrook, north of Hobart, to join a road gang. On 14 April 1848, Cunningham was admitted to hospital for a longer stay. On 17 November 1848, he was well enough to be sent to the Launceston hiring depot, and he was sent into service with a settler, Mr. Bushnell of Patterson Plains. However, his health continued to fail, and just 4 years into his 7-year sentence he was admitted to hospital for the third time. Coomber Cowan Cunningham died at Impression Bay at Tasman's Peninsula. He left behind a widow, Tuturuk, who later lived at the native police headquarters, Narnanari Warren, presumably as wife or concubine of one of the men stationed there. Warrigal, variant spelling Warrigal, Jerry, was brought before the recently appointed resident judge William A. Beckett and a civil jury in the Court of Resident Judge on 17 October 1846. He faced 5 charges relating to an incident almost 3 months earlier at the Lower London. These charges were unlawfully, maliciously and feloniously wounding John Forrester with a spear with intent to murder him at the Lower Lowden on 28th July, with intent to maim, disfigure, and disable, and to do grievous bodily harm. Warrigal Jemmy had earned a notorious reputation among early colonists as at the Lower Lowden, some of whom had in turn earned an equally notorious reputation among local Aboriginal people. In a letter dated 29 September 1853 to Latrobe, settler A. M. Campbell claimed he had cultivated a friendly feeling with the natives. Despite this cordial relationship, when Campbell was away in Melbourne, some local Aborigines enticed his Aboriginal servant Jack away from the station and killed him. Campbell also received a less than friendly visit to his hut from 7 strange black men. On going to a nearby river, Campbell turned and saw one of the natives, Warrigal Jeremy, after transported for life. Following me yards behind, with my own axe uplifted and clasped in both hands, I fixed my eye upon his, walked deliberately up to him, and gently took hold of the axe, which he quietly relinquished. Campbell walked back to his hut with Warrigal Jemmy, conversing with him, as if he had done nothing to excite my suspicion. He later explained that he had not spoken about this incident until 2 years after the event. Men he described as the natives of this place told Campbell they thought Warrigal Jemmy had intended to kill him on an impulse. The squatter who stationed Warrigal Jemmy committed the offence for which he was later arrested was James Cooper. Cooper took up land near the junction of the Loddon at Murray Rivers in 1845, naming his station Borumboot. However, he did not appoint an experienced overseer. In the absence which Cooper's shepherds took liberties with local Aboriginal women, they encouraged Aborigines to visit their huts by providing food. Once they established relations with the women, the shepherds stopped giving them food to the men. Aboriginal men then helped themselves to sheep in payment for the women's services. Fearful of local Aboriginal men, Cooper's shepherds were armed at all times. A spate of violent incidents took place, including an incident in October 1845, when blows were exchanged between one of Cooper's shepherds and some Aboriginal men who had attacked a sheep. The shepherd, William Britton, shot the men stole. Several days later, on 8 October 1845, Britton and another shepherd did not return with their flocks in the evening. Britton's body was found naked with spear wounds opened and his entrails taken out and beaten about his face and head apparently with a tomahawk and his ears cut off. The second shepherd's body was later found in a similar condition. William Dana and his native police were sent to pacify the area. On February 1, 1846, they killed several Aborigines and wounded many more after opening fire on about 200 people. Chief Protector Robinson was sent to investigate, while Henry Dana sent to reinforce his brother William's contingent. Robinson and the local protector Parker were unable to obtain any further information from Aborigines or squatters. William Dana, the only white man present at the February incident, informed Robinson that his party was attacked by natives whilst patrolling the banks of the river. They fired, and when some Aborigines were shot, the rest disappeared among the reeds. In August 1846, another party of border police was sent to the troubled district. They located and arrested Warrigal Jemmy, who was armed at all times with a carbine and some pistols. The events that led to criminal charges being laid against him were detailed in 4 witness statements, including one provided by the shepherd John Forrester. On 28th July 1846, Forrester was tending sheep at the Lower Loddon when he was startled by feeling a spear thrown which passed through the tiny tag of my coat. The surprised shepherd was confronted by a number of men, including Warrigal Jemmy, who threw a second spear at him. The spear, after striking the lock of the shepherd's gun, entered his vest and shirt. As the point of the spear had broken off, the weapon simply grazed his body. Forrester later said in court that because he was afraid of being killed, he decided not to use his gun. Another spear was aimed at him, following which the blacks rushed the sheep and took 40 from the flock of 1,900 sheep. Warrigal Jemmy was brought before the district bench and remanded in custody, pending further evidence from the station where the alleged incident had taken place. According to Robinson, a native policeman acted as Warrigal Jemmy's interpreter during the initial examination of the prisoner. On Monday, the 12th of October 1846, he was committed to stand trial in the court of the resident judge. Warrigal Jemmy was tried before the resident judge, William A. Beckett, and a jury of 12 male settlers on Saturday, 17 October 1846. The Crown Prosecutor, assisted by Sidney Stephen, mounted the case for the prosecution. On being asked to plead, Warrigal Jemmy told the court, "Borak me do it, nor the blackfellow," denying the charge and suggesting that another Aboriginal man had perpetrated the alleged crimes implies that Warrigal Jemmy understood his situation sufficiently to cast doubt on whether he had been correctly identified as the offender. The interpreter, Assistant Protector Parker, nevertheless informed the court of the impossibility of conveying to the prisoner his right of challenge. It was agreed that Redmond Barry could exercise that on Warrigal Jemmy's behalf. The jury was sworn without anyone being challenged, and after hearing the evidence, they found the prisoner guilty on the last 4 counts against him. Warrigal Jemmy was sentenced to life transportation to Van Diemen's Land. On the day he was sentenced, 17 October 1846, an indent was prepared at the Port Phillip district, stating that Warrigal Jemmy's native place was the Loddon River. Described as a labourer in his year of birth, was estimated to be 1820, making him 26 years old. He was 5'9" tall, with a black complexion and hair, and brown eyes. The prisoner had 14 scars across his shoulders. It is likely that these scars were formed during an initiation ceremonies to mark his transition to manhood. His charge, conviction, and sentence were recorded on the indent, as was his status as an Aboriginal black native from the district of Port Phillip. This indent was the legal instrument that enabled Warrigal Jemmy's labour to be transferred officially from the Port Phillip district of New South Wales to Van Diemen's Land. Although sentence had been passed to Warrigal Jemmy, and despite the indent having been prepared, it was not immediately apparent whether it would be carried into effect. Like any sentence passed in the colonial law courts, appeal could be made to the Executive Council. A letter seeking migration of sentence was written by the Assistant Protector stationed at the Loddon River, Edward Parker, on 12 December 1846, identifying the prisoner as Warrigal Jemmy, otherwise Kitanuranan. Parker asked the Chief Protector that he would be allowed to submit a statement to the executive government. He pointed out that the prisoner was convicted on evidence of one man. Parker called into question the witness's ability to correctly identify Warrigal Jemmy because of the man had been speared from behind. The Assistant Protector informed the executive government about the intense prejudice and strongly hostile feeling existing on certain stations on the Murray against the natives. He suggested such hostility could result in prosecution witnesses being easily swayed into not being very scrupulous when it came to swearing to the identity of a black. Such an attitude, according to Parker, would be bound to earn an employee favour with their employer or provide an opportunity to gratify revenge against local Aborigines. Parker described Mr. Cooper's station as having been particularly in a disorderly state, the men being of bad character and under no proper control. The Assistant Protector advocated commuting the prisoner's sentence to imprisonment for a limited time, prophesying that transportation for life in the case of the prisoner is in effect a sentence to early death. Parker thought that the prisoner's return after 2 or 3 years imprisonment to his country and people would, as he, a man of remarkable quickness and intelligence, be productive of much good, in the warning it would afford to the other natives. Robertson endorsed Parker's request that Warrigal Jemmy's sentence to be commuted to a limited period and forwarded the letter to Acting Superintendent William Lonsdale. Lonsdale, resident judge, Lonsdale sought the residence judge's opinion and received a snatching response from Beckett. He justified the sentence he'd imposed, stipulating that it is sufficient to say that it is a sentence which I, in my discretion, believed to be my duty to pass. He intended the sentence to be exemplary and denied that it would be considered severe, stating, Warringal Jemmy was one of a tribe of 50 whose manifest design in assembling together at the time of the attack by the prisoner was spoliation and murder. And for this tribe to learn that their captured comrade had been punished only with temporary confinement would, I think, be but an encouragement to them to carry their design into effect at some future period. In the same letter, Beckett elaborated his views on the difficulties of bringing Aboriginal men to justice. Reports are from time to time authenticated from the most wanton attacks on the flocks and herds of the squatters, and of the mutilation and murder of those charged with their care. But in hardly one instance out of 100 have the offenders been brought to justice. The difficulty of identity, of capture, of detention, and safe conduct for hundreds of miles, the expense and inconvenience of bringing witnesses to the same distance, and finally the probability of the prisoner's discharge from the want of an interpreter. All this goes far to render the law about the same nominal protection for the settlers against the incursion of blacks and operates among the blacks themselves, who are quite intelligent enough to be aware that of these obstructions to their punishment, as an incentive and encouragement to persevere. When once commenced in their career of pillage and murder. The resident judge reasoned such circumstances tempted the distantly located colonist to take the law into his own hands. He saw it as much of a matter of policy as it was a law that once an Aboriginal prisoner was successfully tried and convicted, he ought to be given a sentence that would instill terror into those who lived in a daily fear of encountering similar evidence. Exemplary sentencing could also persuade colonists to seek redress through the law courts. On 8 January 1847, Acting Superintendent Lonsdale forwarded these letters to Sydney. He told the Colonial Secretary the remarks he solicited from Beckett in response to Parker's letter fully addressed the concerns raised. He added that he considered Mr. Parker has attempted to advocate the cause of the black man in a very unjustifiable and inconsiderate manner. The Colonial Secretary concurred with the judge, finding that the allegations of Mr. Parker do not appear to be supported by the facts of the case. Mitigating the sentence would be offering an inducement to the white people to take summary revenge in every case of aggression from the blacks. Despite Parker's concerted efforts, the original life sentence stood. In the meantime, a plan was floated to have a prisoner retained in Melbourne and trained as an interpreter. However, this fell through, and Warrigal Jemmy arrived in Van Diemen's Land on board the Flying Fish on 10 May 1847. When his details were taken, all the colonial scribe annotated Roman Catholic on his record. Almost all other Aboriginal convicts were considered pagans. The other notable exemption was Billy Roberts, alias Samboy or Jimboy, a Protestant. The stout-made Warrigal Jemmy was required to do these 3 years' hard labour. He was initially stationed at Lymington, southeast of Hobart. Prior to Warrigal Jemmy's arrival, Billy Roberts, an Aboriginal convict sentenced to transportation for life in the Supreme Court in Sydney for assaulting one Fanny Haselton by striking her on the head with a tomahawk, was sent to Lymington to serve 30 months hard labour. On arriving from Sydney on April 18, 1847, on board the Water Lily, Roberts was recorded as being 5 foot 9 inches tall, aged about 30, with a black complexion, a large, long head, black woolly hair, and bushy black eyebrows. He had a lost front tooth in his upper jaw, probably through initiation rites, and carried scars in the center of the forehead, over his right eyebrow, and on his right cheekbone. Roberts was in ill health. On April 22nd, 1847, just 4 days after arriving in Van Diemen's Land, he was admitted to Hobart Colonial Hospital. Warrigal Jemmy and Billy Roberts may have heard about each other before both were sent to the hiring depot at Parsons Pass near Buckland in April and May 1848, respectively. About 90 convicts were retained at this depot, with a local landhandler paying 6 pence per convict per day to have the men labour to clear his steep, forested land. Less than a month after Roberts' arrival at Parsons Pass, the two Aboriginal convicts and another man, Thomas Jones, tried at Salop Assize in England on 18th March 1842, absconded from their work gang. Roberts had already been disciplined for breaking out of the barracks at night almost a year earlier and had committed several other offences. Jones' conduct record lists offences ranging from using profane language to make false statements to avoid work. Unlike his fellow absconders, Warrigal Jemmy committed no offences prior to his absconding. The convict department advertised in the Hobart Town Gazette a reward of £2 or such lesser sum as may be determined upon by the convicting magistrate for each of the three. Less than 2 weeks later, Warrigal Jemmy was lodged in Longford Jail. He was transferred to the prisoners' barracks in Launceston before being sent to the Port Arthur Penal Station in 1848, August. Founded in 1828 at Stewart's Bay by down Tasman's peninsula to take advantage of its proximity to numerous stands of useful timber. Port Arthur expanded to become the largest penal establishment in the colony. It was used as a place of secondary punishment for those men who transgressed once within the confines of a convict system. On his arrival, Warrigal Jemmy was made to labour in chains and given a diet restricted to bread and water for having absconded from Parsons Pass. Warrigal Jemmy escaped briefly from Port Arthur, but was apprehended by 20th February in 1849. In 1852 and 1853, he was hired out to G. McSheen of Liverpool Street, P.B. and H. Cooley of Macquarie Street, and McRobbie of Macquarie Street, all resident in Hobart. He eventually got a ticket of leave on 19 May 1854 and was granted a conditional pardon on 12 June 1855. Just 6 days later, Warrigal Jemmy was admitted to the Hobart Colonial Hospital, where he died, aged about 35, on 30 June 1855. Following the escape from Parsons Pass, Roberts' apprehension was gazetted on 19 September 1848. He, too, was sent to Port Arthur in August 1848, where he was later sentenced to 4 days solitary confinement for using threatening language. A number of other offences were recorded against him, including an attempt to strike an overseer. Following an assault on a fellow prisoner in February 1850, Roberts served 30 days solitary confinement. He was transferred to Norfolk Island the following month and died there on 23 July 1850 at about 34 years of age. Jackie, Yanem Guna, Krumbrakawan Kuninam, Warrigal Jemmy, and Billy Roberts all unwittingly fulfilled Parker's prophecy that transporting Aboriginal men was a tantamount to delivering a sentence of early death. It is unlikely that news of their deaths was given to their families or the Aboriginal protectors. In his 1848 annual report, Robinson asked whether or not it would be desired for the government to be informed respecting the Aborigines already transported, in order to mark the effect of the punishment that the same might be made known to the tribes generally, and especially to their connections and friends. He explained how he asked by the men's relatives for information. He was unable to afford the slightest information respecting their relations, not even whether they were living or dead. It's the end of the chapter. I'll continue to read in the next few days, in coming weeks. So, just to recap on this story, that chapter was chapter 9, sentences to instill terror. If you can have a look, this is a book that it's coming from, called Aboriginal Convicts. If you can see that. Written by Christine Harman. It's just basically a book on the Australian Aboriginals, Khoisan and Maori exiles from New Zealand. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I hope everybody who listened enjoyed that. If you want to come up, that'd be cool. Come up if you guys got time or anything. It's like I was too boring for a few people. I see some people hopped in and out, but that's cool. I just thought I'd do a stream. Impromptu. I guess you gotta keep these things keeping up, man. You gotta like keep in routine and stay regiment, man. Like stay focused, stay like we'll and I don't know, stay steady for the answer. Stay steady, productive. I don't think that we'll like all these times we get so wound up and like we have as though like we really need to know everything, know the answer. We're gonna find out like what it is, and and try and benefit from that to get in front of someone else or somewhat like even to say to find if you had found a meaning, like there's like to find the meaning of life and things like that. Like there's obviously more important things to me. It's like just life itself. We got to be respectful to each other, and I think like the way in which we live is saying in the sense of we're the amount of like what's that something the amount of like what's the word, I don't know, on education, the amount of like I can't even think of that word. I haven't got enough education, you see like the the amount of like just pressure that is put on children to perform at school, because they think it's the only way that they're going to get anywhere. Like, I mean, the people of the from the poorer side of society, that's really how they're told to, if you want to get out of it, study is the key. Study is the key. Get top grades, listen to your teacher, go to university, get the best marks, then go and get a job, and then live your life. Get a loan, pay off buy a house, pay off your mortgage. Have some children, and then instill that into them again. Instill that importance of education and achieving. You know, that might not be for all the people, but I mean, to anyone's listening, if their parents were or guardians had that same sort of thought process and pattern and really wanted you to do well in school and had told you that school is the most important thing rather than your sports or your creative or just being yourself and being happy. If that was the case, you'd put a one in the chat. If they were strict parents who had very much education values, or two, if they were kind of like more lenient, as they say, as you would say, parents that didn't really force you to study, with the stereotypical type of, an Asian parent or Asian child that just excels at school to the complete maximum. All they do is study, 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 and just really, don't do extracurricular. They don't engage with this sort of local scene, going out with the friends of the school, going to the school dances, going to events like that. It's just study, 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 get 90%, get 100%, because 90% is not even good enough for these people. I've even seen cases of that where, like, I read in the newspaper over in Fiji that somewhere a, a girl who doing the equivalent of like the final year of high school, like she drank a whole bottle of, unfortunately she drank a whole bottle of like weed killer. It's like for your garden, um, and died from poison for that. And it, because she was afraid of what her father would say now. And she even got like a mark of, like 90%. So, like I think that's that too. A lot of people that's quite a high achievement, but obviously she felt very discouraged on that and about what her father would say. So she unfortunately took her own life. Um, it's quite tragic. It's sad, but hey, peace, Mr. L. What up? What up? Yeah, I was just reading a book before, brother. Yeah, I just sort of finished the chapter. It's just going on about the importance of like education that some parents put on their children. But there's that link, man. Be cool if you could come up if you got time. If not, that's cool. Because yeah, just trying to find what like would be your guys' particular situation. Like I mean, I had quite strict parents who emphasized education being the key. As for them, because I could kind of understand coming from Fiji, bringing them to Australia, that was what sort of brought them here. Like they studied over here in the I think it was the 70s. They came over to do their tertiary stuff and basically, you know, did that successfully. Then went back to Fiji, worked and stuff like that. Um, then kind of went back and forth in between and settled here. I think in the 80s. So I was born here, um, making me, and then I've grown up here in this Western. I mean, well, Australian first world Western society, this education system, and to me, it's kind of like seeing both sides of it. I see the happiness and the happy-go-lucky side of the people in Fiji who just live more in so the fact of the love of life and the sea and what's around them and having fun with people and food and everything than, oh, I've got a better car, I've got a better job, I've got better clothes, and looking down on people. I mean, obviously it exists, but the values are much different. Um, So I mean, like it's kind of weird. That's probably why where I'm at. Although as I said previously, I do have a brother who's an investment banker, and he was born over there. So I mean, he took the route of the Australian education system and just took it, you know, as they say, by the scruff of the collar or the throat. You know, like he studied here, was the first corporate analyst in Queensland. Went to London, started working corporate banking and stuff, and came back here. And you know, not to like shout him out and like gloat. I mean, I've got another brother who's still really hasn't figured himself out. He's another older brother and not doing so well, and an elder sister who's got a nursing degree and living with 2 children and everything. And my other little brother's got three children, but they've all seen that side of things. So for me, for myself, I'm not, I don't have any children yet. I've been in a few like heavy relationships, but I think now I've taken a long break. It's been about it's probably been like 4 to 5 years since I've had a serious relationship. But I just probably took a lot of time there. I took and I didn't want to get involved with anything. I guess it took time to heal. I guess it does. If you ever have you lose someone that you kind of deeply care for, and then from there I just I didn't see any real point in messing around again, like just for the fuck of it. I really don't see the point in that. Yeah, it's like if you're gonna put your energy, be honest about it, and try and have the most positive progression with your partner as possible. So, it's kind of like, yeah, it's all what it is, really. It's like I was getting a bit deep there, a bit personal, but that's cool. It's how it is. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. On the tip, if there's anything like you need to want to talk about or whatever, hit up on the thing. If you guys are just at work, I hope you guys are chilling, having a nice one. Easy flow. If you're at home on the chill, doing the housekeeping and whatnot, it better go well, and it's not too much stress. In effect, that's the main thing, stress less. Like, I gotta say, I think that's a huge factor in a lot of the cause of the disease and ill health of our people around the world. The fact that they stress on such things, things like there's so many things that we do stress over, like the fact that they might say, "Oh, ill health," and then you're gonna stress on that factor, and then that'll probably accentuate the health issue. So, and even other things like you're stressing on materialism, that's not gonna help. It's not gonna bring about the material, is it? But probably bring about some heartache and stuff like that. So it's got to be what we be. Excuse me. Yeah, no, also like what we do. Those people up here, we got to. I'm like sincere. Sincerity is a factor. Like and authenticity, right? We got to be honest. Like if it's entertainment for some people, it's entertainment. If they're trying to build, they're trying to build. If it's an outlet of expression, it's an outlet. Like what? Let it be. Let it be. Try not to bring a beef negativity, like it's here. We're all trying to learn off not all trying to learn off each other. As I said, it's different for everybody. But so I think we should try and find the value in in everybody's like yeah, what's the word? Everybody's opinion, or just the fact that they want to spread out. I mean, get their word out and take. Let's see, like even take use of the outlets that they got, such as YouTube, StreamYard, and things like that. Yeah, wait, shout out back, Chris, man. That's it, man. Like, you know, if as right back, man. Like, cause I'm putting out myself straight up, you know, whatever. I mean, we all obviously have private issues and things like that, but I get up here and I just do what I am, man. This is me. I'm peace all the way. Like right about now, I'm looking for one of those fix, man, in my pocket. But nah, easy. I appreciate that comment, man, and that's right back at you, dude. Like, you know, we're time that we've conversated and shit, and like, if you get up on the live, I'm sure it'll be uh, much more relation. Just excuse me for 1 second. I need to find something. Sorry, excuse me. I'll be back within 30 seconds, if that. Yo, yo, alright, I'm back. I couldn't find it, but anyway, I thought I didn't want to leave everybody waiting. If you guys have got, if there's a link in your chat history, more than welcome to come up. I was just busting a little talk. Firstly, I had a reading on the Aboriginal Australian history, but from here, just talking about kind of life and issues, how we're growing up, what we're doing, children, how you foresee the education system. I mean, and another thing, a lot of us probably have that 9 to 5 set, right? We're on that gist. And you're Monday to Friday or 5 days a week, and you got to get on the grind, and or do you go to work and uh, slave for that? I mean, and I heard somewhere on past stream there was like, yeah, man, like, geez, like they don't even have like $1,000 savings in their bank now. That's like 90% or 70% of the people in the world, because they're living check by check, because they kind of that's just hard to get ahead. They've got to, they've got family to feed, bills to pay, and things like that, and their income is only at a certain level. So, I don't have the answer for that, but then I do think a lot of, as I say previously, our living standards we need to take a step back on that, because if we can continue to go in the advancement that we're going, it's obvious to see that, we can't account for all the energy required and all the devices required, and it's getting out of control, you know. Um, and it's quite obvious to see, like, and if business and capitalism, not even that, just business people want to keep going and society allows it, then I mean, it's kind of, you're getting what you asked for, right? So, because we can see the detriments and the more control issued ever since the unfortunate incident of 9/11. Um, like ever since, like, then just this the use build up in technology. Everybody's got a phone; they can get anywhere, internet access, speak to people everywhere, and obviously there's so much more behind that too. We've got, like, what we see in the internet is just like, it's literally about 10% of the whole system. Like, you got to think of it as an iceberg or somewhat. Like, what we see on the top is just a tiny bit, and under the water, it's 30 times the size of what you see on the top, and that basically is the dark web. Things like the encrypted services, but then you've also got the Oh no, sorry, the deep web would be the encrypted services, and then you'd have the dark web. So where that is just complete, I guess crime from a keyboard. All at the touch of your fingers. So, um, like it's just it's all part and parcel, man. It's coming and it's not going, and then they say, well, it's kind of like as they say with medications, they're the big pharma, like they'll tell you all these drugs and narcotics, cannabis are no good, and then they'll introduce big pharma synthetics, which may mask the issue or the illness, but then also give you a major side effect, which then they need to give you another medication for. Now that's just kind of adding to the problem and perplexing it. And they realise this. But society allows it because they don't see past the issues. They aren't in the labs. They aren't foreseeing these viruses and how they grow and whatnot. But they're just being told by the doctors, hey, this is the right thing to do. The politicians, this is the right thing to do. And as you can see, the amount of cancers, ill health, it has grown exponentially since, say, over the past 5 decades. So, like, same thing goes for internet. Internet has just been born as of the year 19 in the mid 90s, 2000, and look at what has come of it. Like as is in terms of the internet, the deep web and the dark web. So, that's kind of I think you can see what I'm getting at. So just before I go, shout out to everybody's in here. I think we got 6 in the house. If you could hit the like on the way through, it'd be much appreciated. Hey, you're more than welcome to come up, man. If you got that chat history in the link, the link in the chat history, I'll just put it there again. Just going through the comments, man. Like, good to see Miss Ale in here, and shout out, man, to Chris Cole, bro. If you're feeling a bit down or nothing, don't mean to put your shit out there or anything. I'm sure that's it, bro. You gotta keep trying to keep your head up, man. Straight from the heart. We got brother here. You got brother man here on the other side of the world, bro. I'll do whatever I can to help. Like obviously we don't. It's like a pretty figurative thing to say, but it's all true, bro. I'll drop my email in there if you ever fucking want to just have a pen pal or whatnot. Sit there, bro. Do it. Because as I said, I'm all about the honesty and sincerity, and that kind of goes back to like how my other stream went the other day. How the fella from Oregon came on and did what he did, and then I was kind of not distraught, but just disgusted and just couldn't conceive how someone would even think of doing that. So I'm not like gonna blow my like get all angry and do all that stuff. I brought him back on just in case like he was gonna be mature about his talk, but he didn't want to be that way. So yeah, you had to go. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm all about just being respectful, being honest, and being yourself. Follow your intuition, as I always say. Look inside yourself, find your direction, and follow that path. Right? It's the way to go. Like, much peace. Cyphers, man, coming in. Appreciate you coming in. You hit the like button on the way in. It'd be heaps appreciated. If you haven't got StreamYard link in your history, I'll drop it there for you, bro. If you want to come up, more than appreciated. If not, if you haven't got time, that's cool. I'll be just kind of impromptu freestyle flowing some things. But like, oh, true, bro. I'll get you up then, Madness. My brother, what is up?
What's good, brother? How you doing, God?
Good, good. Same, man. A little bit out. I'm looking for my bic at the moment, eh? But my lighter. Uh, um, I can't blaze one right now, but how about you, man? How's things over there?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I'm working on
Same.
this little intro, little video for the smokers lounge that I'm doing, so I can have a little something that look a little cool. But yeah, I'm working on that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
What's
I'm
that you
about to
got?
upload. I'm about to upload like a little clip of it.
Nice. That's cool. I haven't. Well, I don't think I've subbed. I don't think I've subbed to this. Yeah. So is that something that I won't
Um,
do it now, or you're just thinking of starting of doing it?
I mean, since I've been doing it for like the past few weeks, I was like, I might as well just, have something that gives some type of presence. So if I'm gonna be streaming and stuff, I might as well have like a little intro video,
Oh
logo and
yeah,
you know,
good
a little
idea, bro.
reference.
Because that's the way, man. It's like you if you all don't take yourself professional, nobody really will, kind of. So I think I went through. Hopefully, I just dropped your channel in the link, man. So anyone comes through, go subscribe up to Chris, brother. That shit looks dope, even from just looking at your front page, man. Wicked.
Thank you, I
So
appreciate it. Peace to everybody in the chat. Peace to Chris Cobb. Peace to Wise and everybody else.
yeah, man. I don't think there's too many people coming through, but that's all cool. We just here chilling. So and whoever's here, we're here. So you've been, so what you're saying is kind of like got some video edits and like your beats running behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dope. Videos, a video of people smoking and shit. Oh, oh,
Yeah, I got some smoke going
yeah.
out there. I don't have people in there, just just a little something for right now until I get real deep into it.
What'd you do? Is that on the Premiere or whatever?
Not yet.
No.
Actually,
Okay.
it's, I use I wanted to use Premiere, but I end up getting into After Effects before that. So yeah, that's what I'm using is After
Oh,
Effects.
okay, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, as long as they do the trick, there's.
Yeah, both programs are pretty cool. I've seen some great stuff that came out of Premiere as well. So it's all about what you could do with what you got.
That's right. I
Yeah.
think what I'd heard is that Hobson, it quite impressed me that the fact that he makes like all his original, like he does it like pretty much all his editing and production himself, and I think he did it all on like Adobe.
Hmm.
I don't know what beat making program you use, but I just saw him in an interview, and it's quite surprised. It was with something with Vlad, I think, and Vlad was like, "What? You make everything?" And Hobson's like, "Yeah, everything you've heard, all the ill minds that like completely he did it." So it's just it shows you that it can be done, or like such a hell bloody talent that he's got, but you know to
Yeah,
do it. Shit's changing though, hey, like. And it's not like it's really weird. It's getting bigger and bigger. This internet production, like channels. So you got to get on top of it now.
exactly. You got to get with it, and you got to be versatile. You can't just be one thing. It's good to dabble in other little lanes or little other little categories and stuff. Or little sub genres that you're in. You know.
That's right. Unless you like, I mean, but it should. I think saying that don't do things just for the mess of it. Like if you're just trying to do it for the trend, it'll probably be seen. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're gonna be versatile in the sense that if it's musical, maybe range your style, but don't go from heavy metal to techno to like hip hop back to pop. You know what I'm saying? Because it'll look like, what the hell is this guy doing?
I
You know?
mean,
I
to be
mean, yeah,
to be honest, I would say, if it's in your desire or heart to do that, if you do the work,
yeah,
diligence, and to do that, I think do that because one, that's something new that a lot of people haven't done. Two, you expand your horizon in a whole nother, aspect of what you have been doing. And, that's why, like, I used to be like that, and I've learned that it keeps me limited to just what I know, besides expanding my horizon. So, as a producer, I had to, learn different genres. I had to learn EDM or house music. I had to learn how to do dubstep. I had to learn how
Yeah,
to do, other pop stuff besides just, hip hop, R&B, or rap or trap.
yeah. No, absolutely. And I think like I mean the way that I said it kind of was, and I was like, because if you're feeling it and that's right, like if you know got that time, if you're really feeling whatever like song it is, then also obviously someone else will feel it, and you obviously like yeah you would feel it. So um, but then and also thinking with the if you have musical theory knowledge about yourself, then or just even production how it works, then like if you're I think you'd have a little bit of advantage in the sense that like as you said you've got to learn dubstep production techniques if you're listening to that, but if you kind of have already delved into these things of electronic music, you'll go, oh okay, that's how they did that, you know what I mean, you can hear the sound and go, oh, okay, yeah, this is what they do, that's the rhythm they're at. But I'm seeing what you're saying with like how they, in LFO and things like that, that's a huge part of dubstep, um, side chaining, and all this EQ. I don't, just that,
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't
It's like,
know.
because now it's like, you always had, those wonders of what can I do until, that edit, or, um that sample has been made. And that's one thing that, dubstep, I mean, not dubstep, but side chaining actually brung in, because, a lot of people was wondering, how could I incorporate, like a sub and a 808 at the same time, and how can I incorporate that within, R&B or hip hop as well, because that was, within other elements as well. And that was like when the side chaining came out, dubstep was easy with that. EDM was easy with that. So they use
Yeah,
a lot of low end stuff too. So they do a lot of side chaining as well. So when that even came into the hip hop game, that was just like wonders. So that's
yeah,
why I love dipping in different genres, because you can take different aspects and, put it with others, and come up with something totally new and just change the whole game.
yeah. Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I just better, you're gonna come up with a totally new genre,
Hmm.
like, and if it's smashing, it's smashing. But yeah, hey, so that's like kind of, um, so as you're saying with the side chaining, they do that thing so it doesn't muddy out the low end, um, and things don't clash. They have things as side chaining that will take out the bass as soon as that drum kick hits, or vice versa. So it's just that's what people out there that don't know the intricacies of what that is. Um, it's a common effect in a lot of dance music you would have heard uh, probably 5 6 years ago in the pop markets. I still can't find my bloody light.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do today? Is it early over there?
Well, it's like
It's
super
night time.
late in the morning. It's like 2:41 a.m. So
Oh shit, eh?
I'm just a night owl, bro. Like insomnia strikes again. So here I am.
Yeah. Now that's it, eh? Like I used to be way like that, like, but and then I was like, kind of got onto a different trip of I wanted to go to bed early and then be up early and be up with the day and be up with the sun. But they do say the creative hours are the you know late hours of the morning. Like now for you, like after midnight in between what and 3 o'clock is the wicker hour or something. I don't know about that, but I found that too. You get a bit creative in the night time. And it just takes time for beats though too. Another thing with musicians, I think, if you're inspired and you feel something, continue with it. Because if you like, or if you have an idea, write that idea down. Because you'll probably wake up and you'll forget that lyric, or you'll go do something else. You'll forget that idea. So when you're in the zone, really, really try and push yourself and keep going. Like you might come to like a what's that a brain freeze or mental block, writer's block, but just try your hardest to keep going. I mean, obviously, you come back to tracks too. You're gonna add new styles, add new flavor to it. But it's often very hard that if you get something down and you're really digging it, and then say something happens and your system fails and you lose your beat, it's often very hard to go back and totally replicate that feel. Um, that's happened to me a few times. You can't actually, you know, you'll have the basics there, and you might know when the kick will go, when the snare will go, when the hat will go, what chords were used, but just by somehow that feeling isn't the same. So, you know, always like save those projects and keep um, like going
bro.
with new
Like,
ideas.
it's and it's bro. Like, I have that trouble with vocals more than anything, bro. Man, I've tried to go and recreate that same feel that I had, back when I like first like recorded the song or whatever, just try to spice things up. And man, I could never like accomplish like giving that same feel, man. It's like that energy or that situation that she was in was just like no other, man. It's so fucking hard to incorporate that feel or that energy and give off that same excitement, just expressing it through the music. It gives a whole man. I definitely feel you. It sucks, man.
Yeah, I mean it happens. So right, and then yeah, I mean because even if you're backing things up all the time, you're still gonna lose it and stuff like that. But yeah, especially with vocals, though, I guess, especially with vocals, that'll be even more of a case of trying to get that feeling back with a beat. Says somewhat you could get the right structure, but yeah, you're never really gonna hit that vocal. Oh, you will hit the vocal again, but if you did something and you were just like, "Whoa, where did that come from?" So it might not come back.
Yeah,
What sort of vocals you do? Like main sort of rap flow or a bit of singing, cut melodics, or do you
both,
flow at all?
both, mostly rap, but I can do both.
Bit of both, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the way that the things now is, it's very melodic, and people are just like trying to, you know. But to me, it's just very basic kind of even country singing. You know, it's like the way the lines are breaking down. It's just Ellen man a P, I got self a G. I would know something bullshit like that. Like,
right. Yeah, I hate that like simple fucking red hat, green hat, blue one fish, blue fish bullshit. Like that shit like is whack as hell. Like I'm like so like old school like lyrics with it, but
yeah,
it's like still keeping up to date with the beats and everything. So
that's
um,
right. I
yeah,
think I found that a pretty different thing to do because I was all about like not so much lyrics. Like I freestyle a lot, right? I can recognize the talent in the lyrics, but I'm all more about rhythm and flow. Like just I think that's probably an issue of mine too. I don't take time to write a lot, but also adapting that sort of old school flow of the let's say like Run DMC and shit, like old school '80s thing, that or even the like some other shit up into these new beats. It don't really, it's harder to fit it because they're a lot slow tempo, and the rhythms are kind of offbeat now and shit. But I mean, it still works, and you can still fit things on top of it because it's music's all in a sort of dedicated time set, but it doesn't suit as much. But maybe it doesn't suit because we're not used to it in the same way because as we just were saying that LMNOP, blue fish, red fish, this but basic stuff. It is what's kind of uh, like, I mean, I hate to say the word, it's what's popping, but like it is what's so popular and what people recognize and stuff. It's kind of a shame it got to that, because it was like you have simple melodies and simple choruses, so that, or catchy ones, so that people can then sing along to them and then remember them, right? And it's not so hard. It's like, well, I can't do that. I won't be able to, you know what I mean? You're not so in awe. But in that saying that fact, now everybody's like, oh shit, I want to just get up and make something, you know? Like I've heard a lot of people saying, like, oh, since ever since Post Malone and a few of these guys with auto tune and stuff, like it's like people who sing in the shower now think, oh shit, I can get up and do it. It's, you know what I mean, because they're not sounding so, um, what's the word, unique and individualistic, and you're not sounding so like not professional, but like, what's that word? Like it's easy to do, anybody can do, kind of thing. What they're putting out, it's like catchy that it's just kind of become
Yeah,
no skill.
it's different with like people like Post Malone because Post Malone have a musical background. He was in a whole different genre before he tapped into, pop and rap and hip hop and stuff.
Oh, true.
So
So he was a
yeah,
heavy country girl.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, check his story out because you'll be surprised of what kind type of music he was doing even before the country. I'm talking about like bro, you'll be surprised. And so it seems like from that background, okay, he's musically talented, that's pretty cool. But it's like that man, if other people can do that, bro.
What, duplicate his blueprint and stuff, like,
Well, not duplicate his blueprint, just come from a whole nother
Oh,
genre,
okay.
and
Yep.
you know, you don't even come up off of your genre. You literally just struggled more in your genre, but when you hop to something that's totally different and you make something of yourself from that, I think that's pretty cool. Even though he's not black and he's making his mark in rap, hip hop, and da da da. I think the whole idea is cool. I don't.
Well,
I
I
hate the
think he kind of gained his platform, yeah? Like, as you're saying, from what I'm, like, he was struggling in his early years, then he popped from, doing this kind of rap shit, and now he's kind of sort of slowly moved away again, hasn't he? His stuff, I don't listen to his stuff, but that's what I've
yeah.
heard.
I don't really listen to his stuff either that much, but he haven't really putting anything out since that one little hit he did, and I think he just reaping the benefits off that and seeing how long it's gonna string out. So I think that's pretty what's going on with that because I mean, right now that's like that's like the latest club hit that's like everywhere. So and
Yeah,
and I mean, he did his shit doing it. I can't knock
yeah,
him.
that's right. So props to
I
what he
just
did.
I just would love for us to be able to. I would love for the energy to be the same when black people go to other genres as well.
Yeah, like, uh, um,
It's
I
just
just had a brain
like
fart.
anybody can come and rap and make something of themselves, but it's like when we hop in anything outside of rap, trap, hip hop, or R&B, it's like we get ridiculed or we get things taken away from us. I think that's pretty
Yeah.
stupid.
And what they'll cop slack from the, like, society and things, and they'll cop slack from people who haven't even done it though. That's the thing. Like, like, so I'm just thinking of things like Waka Flocka or something. He went down and did the EDM tours with all the college type people, and people go, "Oh, that's whack." But he was doing what he was doing. He was making, and he was improving. People were just hating on him because they couldn't do it, maybe. But like another, just as you're saying, he's just how Post Malone's kind of going off the success of that original song. But I remember I did a music business course, right? Like when I was studying, and the I'm sure you might have heard the band Veronicas.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah, right. So they're from Australia.
Mm.
And then this guy was saying, like half, and this sort of goes for a lot of bands. Half of the revenue is coming from merchandise sales. So things such as T-shirts and paraphernalia and things like that. It's not just the music that is selling. Like, and nowadays, this was a while back, so things have changed in the sense of the whole streaming platform and stuff like that. It's they're getting paid from that, but a lot of revenue is coming from your marketing. I mean merchandise. And then now endorsements and things like that with those people, like such people nowadays, they'd be getting deals and sponsorships. Um, it's not a, it's a, it's not about getting a record label deal and things like that really anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, people.
Depends where you want to go and how far and how you want to sustain your career. Like what you want to be at. Do you want to be earning $1 million, or do you want to have integrity and earn hundreds of thousands of dollars? Or
I
100,000.
mean, I mean, it's basically just come down to whether if you want to own your shit or you want to sell your shit.
Yeah. I mean, and that's right. If you're at a stage where you think that selling your shit is going to help, or getting the bigger brand involved will help, then hey, go for it. But that's obviously not the first step, because you've got to build your own brand and uh, fan base for them to then even consider picking you up. Like there's one major artist out here he's taken it probably a good 10 years of, obviously it's a lot longer than that, like you can see started from, but 10 years he's been doing pretty well. I think his net is about 600,000 or something. um, totally was totally independent, but just got a distribution deal with Warner Australia. Like, so basically he does all the production, all the other, like, gets the package ready, and they just like help get it into international stores, or the um, capital cities of all the different states.
Mhm.
So that helps him, stuff like that. You could obviously, yeah, it's about where you put your money in. You need a team though, I think.
Yeah, team helps make things a little bit more easier, so you don't have to be doing everything.
Yeah, because shit gets time consuming. As you're saying, you were just editing a video, so it takes some hours putting that together. That gets you tired. So that, yeah, but
Facts.
you reap what you sow, eh?
Yeah.
So what is your thing finished, you reckon? Or not quite?
It's I have like a little clip of it up. I had just uploaded a clip of it of what I got so far. But besides that, it's just something simple. That's all. For right now. I got bored and I was just like, let me just fuck around on this damn computer. That was more of what it was, and I was just like, I'll do something right now, and then I did a little small, a little intro, a little video. But
Okay.
I mean, it's
I
cool
think
though.
I think Chris hopped out. Peace though to Chris, brother. Stay good, man. Stay up, always. I think also, like what you're saying, like when I was asking if you're finished, but being an artist and a creative, it's always like you always look at it and go, oh shit, I could do this to it, or I could always do this too. You know what I'm saying? Like you can never be fully happy with the project. Instead, in some cases, like you've got to always draw the line and go, all right, that's it. That's what I'm going to do, because you can be forever adding on little things or taking out things and tweaking, instead of
Man,
going on to a new project.
I'm still learning that, bro. Like at times I still get caught up to just keep editing and editing, and I just be like, "What the fuck am I doing, man? This shit is already dope." So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm slowly like creeping out of that little pothole right there, but sometimes I get stuck inside. I mean, I think
yeah,
all of us, all of us artists, have that little concept with us or that little problem. We get to a
yeah.
point where we're like, shit, I know this can be better. I know this can be better, but a lot of times it's just dope as it is, really.
That's right. I mean, yeah, because like I think it could be broken down. Like if you play the song, just say you put out a beat, you put out some vocals on it, and to you it's not your favorite, or you think it's quite whack. Someone else that's like literally gonna be their favorite song. You know what I'm saying? Because we all got different tastes and stuff. Like I've had plenty of cases like that. There's music which you just put together in 5 minutes or like not in a couple of hours, and then people are, man, that's dope, bro. That's the shit, you know. And then, but to you, it's like, man, this was just something I just made. But same case, like, because I could have thought, oh, I could have added so much to it. I could have put more, and could have been something else. It would have been something else, but then I'm thinking, oh, it's better, but it was good enough for that person. So I don't know. It's just there it's fact. You got to draw the line sometimes, but you edit it as much. And I'm supposed the editing you get, the more you practice, the quicker you'll get at it. You should also set templates. I think don't always start from the beginning screen because, like, when you start finding your what's the word like your lane and the way you break things down and what works for you, save those little settings and save those things so then your work pattern becomes a lot easier and you don't have to waste time going back, loading patches, loading settings, so it's all ready kind of to go. And then from there you'll always kind of expand, find new tricks that'll help you go quicker or just make things better. Oh, like, can change the whole feel of things, like, or whatever. You find new techniques. I found that's one thing that that's a very time to always start from scratch. It's a bit of a waste of time. You know, if you've got some genre templates, you should sort of go with them. Saves a lot.
Yeah, templates do save a lot of time, especially when you're like in a session or something. And like even like with music programs or DAWs,
Yeah,
you starting from scratch. You got to route shit, then you got to add the VST, then you got to you got to set it. Oh fuck! Then you got to play the song, then you got to add the compressor, add a EQ or whatnot, and it's just like this
yeah,
whole route that you have to do over and over and over and over again. So I was like, man, yeah, templates they do come in handy. Like,
yeah. And because those tweakings, will you've got to tweak the EQ around where you could obviously have a setting which is similar, and then tweak from there rather than go from zero and have to do all the low cutoff, high cutoff, and bandwidth, whichever. Like, um, but yeah, definitely. I think I just lost what I was going to say, but uh,
yeah, I had to set a few fucking templates for myself. Now
oh, that's right.
I just go off the template. Now I got like templates, going according to certain genres.
Exactly. Yep.
So, in case I get an artist, that want to do, some pop stuff or, some R&B ish, I got some for that, or hip hop, got some for trap, got some for dubstep, got some for EDM. So, it really do helps. I mean, even just having even if you don't even really have to set a one by genre. I just did that just just to be a little bit more organized. But you can even set a simple template, and you can just even go off through with any genre. To be honest,
Fact. Absolute. And then I mean, I'm saying this, and I should be sort of taking my advice more often. I do have a couple of templates set for genre, but you know, I probably, I should be more aggressive with it. And especially with settings like instrument settings, you might, because that's the other part. Like when you go with the what's the word? Just the standard plug-in that they've got, that the door, the synth that it comes with, and you do a little bit of tweaking to that, and the oscillators or whatever on the synthesizer, then save that, and that's your particular sound. So then even in that sense, you could have a whole lot of tweaked like drum kit sounds, synthesized sound, and that's your own little like um, producer package kit, of sound hits and things like that. Like, I mean that's a bit taking it far, but
Mm-hmm.
really, it could be done like that. You could just have a whole lot of synths and then a whole lot of different kits that you can take from some place like these doors and then just tweak them a bit, save them, and they're basically your completely original sound.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, yeah, I mean, and it's time, mate. You just got to put the time into it, bro, and treat like, and also be serious about it. Like, it's kind of, and it's, I don't know, like because when I grew up, say when in high school, rap was just, well, rap has always been huge, right? And in Australia, it didn't really go huge up until what 2000s and the early, like the in between 2000 and 2010. Not even now, I'd say 2010. That's when the shit really, and even in between then and now is when it started popping,
Yeah.
like really big. Because before that, it was like, nah, this stuff's not gonna last. We still had a lot of grunge bands, people playing guitar with distorted stuff, like it, and it just, they were like, nah, this ain't this, that's a fad, blah blah blah, saying all this shit. But now it's just taken over, and the same guy that was playing all that stuff wants to be rap. So, really, this in saying that, there's so many people out there, like how they say fish in the sea. There's like literally so many different people trying for these positions. Not to say you want to reach that. You don't even have to go for a position. Just do what you do and be fresh with it. And if it's funky, people are going to listen to it. So
Right.
like, I mean, there's obviously different ways you want to market, and you can get to certain positions and do what this, just what. But if you're just doing it for the fad and the fashion, well, hey, go that way. I'd say go and invest in the marketing and do all these things. But if you're doing it for the music and the love of it, make sure it sounds funky. Oh, I say funky, but you know what I mean. Like, just make sure you're feeling it.
Yeah, I
It's
think.
from it's from the soul.
Yeah, a lot of times nowadays it's just people want to do it because they just think it's easy, or they just want to do it because other people doing it. It's not even more of a soul thing now, and it sucks because like it just degrades the quality of music. And it's like people sound the same, and you got all this other stuff going
Totally.
on. And it's just like, man, like it's like it's just because it's like, man, it sucks because like I don't know how it is over there, but how it is over here, bro. Like even with rap, within like the black community, bro, everybody think they can rap, man. Everybody want to rap. Everybody think they got the hit song, like. And I just be like, all right, cause I like getting people, I like seeing, I like seeing people's heart, seeing what they heart at. So,
Yeah.
people, be out here, I can do this, da da da. All right, cool. Ain't nothing but time for me. I ain't gotta waste no money or nothing. Ain't nothing but time. I can get you in the professional studio, and it ain't nothing but time for me. But it's like when you get there, don't be surprised or don't bitch up and act like this shit is all brand new now because now I done put you to the test.
Fact. I mean, and I think, well, I took that as in the way that you go like, since everyone thinks they got the hit, they got the thing, but they get up on the track, they got the sound, and their lyrics like, I got the bitches, I got the guap, I'm taking international flights and shit. But then really, they're still living with their mom. They don't have a girlfriend. They don't even have a car. they got fucking like less than $1,000 in the bank. You know you know what I mean? Like a lot of people do it for that shit, and they ain't even half of that. They never seen even half of fucking anything. They never sold a pack in their life. You know, like not that that's it. I'm not promoting that at all, but that's the new kind of um, like straight like Takashi. You know, got up there, did all this bullshit, rainbow hair, gumma, back, and then gets caught and fucking tells everyone over he can't.
Right. I mean, the fact that he is even in the game making money like that is even whack. Because he even went on the fucking Breakfast Club and told everybody, "I didn't even come up off rap." So he just letting you know that it's a game. So I'm just like, wow, like I couldn't.
What did he come up with? Other
Man,
music. Oh,
um,
I heard he was on Instagram before that doing photos and shit. But
yeah, but like he never really started listening to rap and stuff. He started listening to like other music, like dance, techno music, because he was doing drugs and shit.
shit.
And he would listen to of course, reggaeton and stuff. He's
Okay.
Spanish, but
What will be ultra whack if he comes out and is able to make another song full stop, but another like gangster category type song and have recognition? That would be the most retarded thing. But I can see it happening. But
yeah,
like,
I'll literally leave America.
nah, but you can see it happen. Like you can just see all these teenage
I,
people buying it.
I don't even want to see it happening.
It'd be like 12-year-olds, all the 10-year-olds, they're just buying it, but it's so. Yeah, he's a character. Anyway, like, who else? I mean, and then you see, I think of people like Schmurder, man. Bobby Schmurder, he's still locked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. His song was fire. Like,
Right.
that was getting played everywhere just as much as Takashi, and that shit was real. you
Mm.
know, and it was like dope. That boy was feeling his song. He was dope. That shit was mad, man. Free Bobby Schmurder if anybody is fucking listening in the New York correctional system. Fucking
Right.
like,
Free,
like
free him. At the same time, I can't be like, bro, free him, but you told on yourself.
yeah,
You like, bro, like, yeah, you use social media and you told on yourself, bro. Like some real nigga shit, to keep your shit quiet regardless of how hard you pumping or how hard you looking or anything, how hard you stunting. And none of that don't even matter. On some real G shit to keep your mouth closed. And if social media
yeah.
wasn't, if what wasn't that type of tool to be exposing people, I think he'd probably still be free, and I think he'd still probably be making more music.
That's right. And I think that's probably what he thought exactly too, right? I mean,
Hmm.
because yeah, that's very true. It's what you're saying. Any super real person would be like, no, what are you
Hmm.
talking about? You know?
Right.
Like that, yeah, that's never, it's not a topic even brought up. So he got out there and was like, exemplify, or, highlighting the fact of what he'd done. But anyway,
Yeah. I
I,
mean, like, free the man, of course, and I can't, I mean, and, I just don't believe, the narrative that we always being given. So, I don't, really go according to, those stories. And I just think, he was just probably caught with some stuff, and people, they were trying to make an example of him, and with just wrong place, wrong time, wrong move, and I just hope people learn from that and they can really see what's really going on.
did like, just to ask, I'm not sure, did any more come out of the actual like the actualities of what happened with Juice WRLD? Like,
Nope.
No.
It was after he had that seizure. It was a wrap. That's all it was. I already knew from the get go, like just even looking at the situation, well, hearing the situation, and then seeing the video and then realizing this nigga just died in the same outfit Nipsey Hussle just fucking died in. That shit was just weird as fuck to me. So I already knew something, behind the scenes was going on. It's like you just did like two people was not gonna sit here and pass that one don't even know each other. It's not even on the same, in the same state at the point and opposite times of the whole fucking year. Like literally direct opposites. One at the beginning, one at the end. Something is fishy about that. One sock, red shorts. Something is fishy about that. The same outfit. Come on, that shit don't even happen in 3 years. Who do you know dying in the same outfit as the next rich person? Like these dudes got money. Why are they dying in the same outfit?
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like
You
it's
know, and then the fact that the story just stopped. I mean, because what we heard over here is that he had his private jet. He was with his entourage. Pilot was there. Well, not he wasn't. His entourage, and then 75 pounds of green, and then he took like a whole bunch of farmies. Um, and so to show that just stopped there, and there's no more investigation into like one of the youngest superstars around. It's a bit, yeah. And then to see, as you're saying, the same sort of uniform and whatnot as
right. But
Nipsey,
that's
bro.
why but that's why it stops right there because the blame either have to go to two things and it has to go to one the drugs, two to him because he took the drugs. And that's where they gonna have to leave the blame because they not getting blamed. So the blame got to go somewhere else. So if the blame is not on them and they seeing where it's not focused on them, they gonna leave it exactly where it's at, and that's the whole point of them just controlling the narrative. That's why I never believe what the hell they tell us because it's just some stupid shit. Like I can give a fuck what somebody saying the goddamn song, nigga. You a character when you're your alias. Outside of that, I really don't know you and I think you really portraying something else. So, regardless if you said, "Oh, I want to die young," or you're trained to be doing all these drugs and stuff. Okay, that's cool, but what's happening to the people that's doing them same drugs or the people that I consistently can see go downtown LA and Skid Row and see people that's doing way worse drugs than that. And these motherfuckers is old, ugly as fuck. Yeah, but they still kicking. So it's like it's something you see what I'm saying? Like something is not going on. Like this man got a shitload of money and he doing what the fuck he loves. He seemed happy and he's living life regardless if he experiments with whatever drug. That's cool. But I'm seeing people who ain't got shit who's living in tents and doing way worse drugs and they still kicking as well. And they old as fuck.
Right. Well, example of that would be that guy from Rolling Stones, or all the Rolling Stones.
Hmm.
There's have Keith Richards, I think.
Yeah.
You heard of him, like in his sort
Yeah.
of, yeah. I mean, you look at those motherfuckers. They're probably still. I don't know what they do, but they seem to be. The story is they're still, you know, doing
Hmm.
gigs, partying just as hard, or maybe not partying just as hard, but still, using drugs every day and stuff like this. And that is quite strange, yeah, to see the way that it's quite sad. It's really sad, actually. Really, like he
Yeah.
was so talented, and then the fact that he's seeing the like, what was it, the 27 or what, 27 club or 29 club, and he's like, "We'll die at 21" and all these things.
Uh-huh.
But what sort of mentality is that there? How come that's getting like? Was that kind of popularized? Like, I don't know about like, what are you in your mid 20s or late 20s or early 30s?
Hold on. What was your question again?
Like your age? I'm in my
Oh,
mid thirties. I'm thinking
I'm
like,
in my early 30s.
yeah, okay. So you would have seen. I'm just wondering what's the like mentality of what's going around in the schools. You know what I mean? Like what is trending to make these people think like that and get like that? I mean, obviously, always the things go up and down and change. And we got influenced by Tupac, Snoop, Mobb Deep, Nori, all those Big Pun. You know, in that sort of zone. Then Cash Money came and stuff. I wasn't really a fan of that, but you know, just
It's the generation switch because you got to think of it like when we was around, with the whole Mob Deeps and the big puns and the big L's and the Nas's, that was our young generation. You know what I'm saying? So when the generation switch happened and those rappers kind of like fade out a little bit, a whole new generation happens, and so they realized that, so they kept attacking and start bringing these new rappers, and then this whole mumble rap, I mean trap started to form, and then after trap started to form, then they brought in this whole mumble rap bullshit. And so you see what I'm saying? These generation switches happening, and what it's doing is they creating these characters and attacking the youth. So they making sure like the youth can hear this, have access to it, can listen to it regardless of a parent, you know.
mm,
And that's just what's been happening. And people that in certain circumstances kind of lean on to some stuff that they hear from these characters, like they might listen to a Uzi verse saying, like, oh, like I've been through this, I've been through that, so I'm a pop a pill to take it to ease the pain away, da 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 da. You see what I'm saying? So the kid in their mind, he's like, oh well, I'm listening to it, there's other people listen to it, so they starting to be influenced at this, from this art. I mean, this artist or whatnot, and they become a fan and start fantasizing and doing things, that they do or they hear in the song, regardless if they know if it's true or not. That's just what's being sold. So that's a big influence, on our youth as well.
yeah. I mean, I see. Yeah, that I mean, obviously, have those all those little traits of you know the Nas, Big L's, and all that sort of that generation has sort of touched off, rubbed off onto people and stuff, and like it's. I mean, oh, she was going to sort of say, and then it's like,
And
oh
it's like
yeah,
you gotta see, like, pay attention to how artists was getting signed back then all the way up to now. You see what I'm saying? And now it's not you get a record deal, this type, you know, you get, you have promotion, or you get the 60/40 promotion or publishing, and you get a manager, you get road managers and all this stuff, and you set.
you don't need
Not
that.
like
Yeah,
that anymore.
yeah,
Now it's like, okay, I can provide everything for you, and all you got to do is just rap, and I own damn near everything. But I'm not going to tell you in that way, but I own everything, and which came out to be the 360 deal. So now that's why you see all these new rappers or new artists that's been servicing for the past 5 to 10 years has been 360 deals.
right.
Right. So it's the new thing. It's a new generation switch, and that's why music has kind of been slowing down, because now it's like you're not hearing new artists like we used to hear, or the new next best thing that we used to hear so frequent. You just hearing these same artists with consistent, with the same type bullshit, or they'll come out with a new song. It's not too many new artists that's coming out unless they willing to sign that damn 360 contract.
Deal. Yeah, and two artists. I mean, that do have maybe they fall into that and sign that way. Uh, maybe an advice would be that take that podium and take that chance, but know that you're not really recouping from any musical thing, but like try and get your platform of fame and set up sales from merchandise, or just set up a platform for yourself to go into another field, if you've got that spot there, because you could have a 10-year album deal, or like a 10 album deal, 7 years, whatever it is, and all it's paid for, but when it comes to the end of the time, you've got nothing to show for it, and the
Mhm.
the, the label recoups everything. So
Right.
you
That's
know,
why like I give respect to I mean I don't like him as an artist, but what he did, like Lil Yachty, like I fucks with his whole mentality because he explains to people like even on on certain interviews. And he's like, yo, I came from nothing. Like, I ain't have shit. But, as soon as I, found like music and shit and I was able to do this shit, I was like, shit, why not? Make that shit. I give a fuck what it is. If I'm making it and selling, it is what it is. And when he started making his music, started doing his music, regardless if it was hot or not, it was selling. And that brought him on to more opportunities with doing Sprite commercials and all this other bullshit. So he ended up capitalizing off that, ended up doing big more deals than that. So he was like even letting people know, like, I ain't no rapper, like it ain't even nothing like that. Like I just rap and I did songs and it sold and it is what it is. And I just be like, he fooled. But he did it the right way because like he ended up getting and landing more deals and contracts and shit outside of rap. So, his money is flowing.
is he? Oh, I mean, that's right too, and I guess he's always got that opportunity to release whenever he wants. So is he more? You don't really see music from him. Do you still see him on the television and think, oh, well, like see him popping him up in certain places over there? He's been quiet at the moment.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, as a question, do you see him over in America still, or he's pretty quiet at the moment?
He's pretty quiet, but
He's
you
quiet.
still see him around. Like you'll see his face around. Like he pop up at events and stuff, but he's
Okay.
musically he's quiet right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that seemed quite interesting. You say that. Like, I wasn't really sure in his history on that. I mean, when he came out, to me, because I'm more of an old school, like I'm from the generation of lyrics and being about what you were. I wasn't really a fan so much, say, but as you say, look what he did. You
Hmm.
know, he took that point, figured, hey, I'm gonna do this, and did it, and took advantage. So that's right. No hating, just being positive and leaving all the hate out of the way. You know what I mean? If hate is coming your way, you walk the other way, or like they say, all promotion is good promotion, or whatever that So that's cool. Let the people hate and whatnot, and let them talk. Because that's spreading. Your name is getting spread any which way. So people might, even if someone says, "Oh man, don't check that guy. He's whack," they're gonna go and check him out anyway, just because they want their own opinion of it. So instead of, but let that happen. But instead of focusing on that, go for more. Think, manifest, vision it. You make your own work. You can do it. You got that skills. Some people don't have the skill, but you know.
Right, and I'm learning that all promotion is good promotion is too. Like I'm hella learning that shit, man. That shit be getting me extra followers on fucking Instagram. like when if somebody like passed, I end up doing a little bit more research and digging. And if he's like a big fan of people, I'll be like, well, this person did this and this and this. Hmm, what should I think? And motherfuckers be attacking like I don't even be knowing these people. They just come out left and right. I'm like, y'all niggas got baited.
I didn't get it.
Now
Oh,
the thing is like the good promotion is good or bad promotion is gonna be good promotion regardless because it's gonna the thing with social media now is it depends on activity. right? So the more activity your Instagram and shit get, the more, your profile or your post is being viewed to people around the world. That's
Yeah.
how kind of how the algorithm works.
Yeah,
So
I saw. Yeah.
so you know how you might end up getting like 100 and something likes. So if you just throw out a RIP Kobe picture,
Right. Yeah.
but just imagine you getting like 300 to 400 and something likes off of well, I think Kobe was this picture.
Still the same, man. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can use that concept just with anything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's crazy because like it kind of happened when that whole Caden situation at the Dorf guy from Australia when his little bully situation popped out. Like I didn't say I believe this. I didn't say this was this. I didn't say this is this. I literally and it's still on my Instagram now. It has questions. It say, was he really 18? Did he really get bullied? Why didn't his mom record the bullying? Da 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 da. That's all it was saying. Just getting to a point. And I had some pictures up there, but the people on it that was going at me, bro, like I had black people just getting at me, bro. I was just like, "Yo, are y'all serious? Like, did you read the caption?" I think it was like, "You don't know. He's not really 18. He's 9 years old." I was like, "Okay, so who said?" Who literally said that he was 9 years old. Well, you posted the picture. I said, but the caption asks questions. So again, I'm gonna ask you, who said he was 9 years old? Matter of fact, who even put a number down to say he was this year of age?
I didn't even know you're on about the Australian cadence. Who?
Oh, you never. Oh, bro. Okay, so check this out. It's this Australian kid. He's supposed to be 9 years old. He's suffering from dwarfism, and he got bullied. I'm not gonna say he did or didn't. I'm just gonna say he allegedly got bullied at school one day. His mom witnessed it. She didn't record it, but she waited till they got in the car and say, well, you parents, and started recording him and say, oh, you parents need to teach your kids about bullying
Oh,
and
she did an Instagram thing while she got in the car. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, while he's sitting there saying, crying, I'm gonna kill myself. I'm tired of this. I don't like myself and all this other stuff. So that kind of surfaced and a few actors was like, okay, I'm gonna put a GoFundMe together for him, and I'm gonna raise this money and send him to Disneyland, and then I guess they was gonna take part of the money and take him to Disneyland or do whatever for his mom and expenses, then take the other half of the money and send it to other organizations for bullying, which are governmental organizations. So the government, it's just a government trick.
Whoa, dude, I should check that out, man. That's
It's a
sad.
government trick. It's
Yeah.
like okay, it's like at the end of the day, don't be a mother and say, oh well, my son was bullied. I witnessed him being bullied, and she even asked him, do you want me to do something about this? And he said no. So when all this is going on, you decide not to record this. Okay, cool. So okay, cool. Let's just say he was bullied. Okay. You wait to get in the car to expose the privacy of your child
Mm.
rather than being a mother
And console
and
him for a second,
comforting
eh? Yeah.
and consoling him when he's going through a situation of terror or an emotion of terror.
Right.
So it's
And
just
look,
like
what is that? He's showing the example. She's showing the example. Well, the solution is get onto Instagram. You know
exactly,
what I mean?
exactly it's bullshit. So I'm just like, So you rather do all that stuff, but then we do more research. We go on his Instagram. Now captions on his pictures are being changed. Some of his Facebook um, profiles are being deleted. I guess another profile went private, and then they want to say, "Oh, now everybody people are making all these different profiles of Caden." I was like, "No, no, hold on," because I went to 3 of his profiles, and these motherfuckers had more than 100K followers. No
Wow.
regular person cannot just make a regular profile and within one day or a week get more than 100K get more than 100K followers like that. That what
Yeah, there's something up with the algorithm, or like, yeah,
exactly? It's like, oh, now the algorithm is faulty now. Like, no, that's bullshit. So I'm not gonna say nothing happened. All I'm gonna say is mother of the dwarf. There's more mothers and children's that's dwarfs. Okay, there's more people and dwarfs that's getting bullied. So why should you be singled out to for people to condone to your little emotion and send you and do all this other stuff? Mind you, you are an inspired actor and you already have money. So
uh,
my thing to this, to Hugh Jackman, whatever his fucking name is, you fucking Wolverine son of a bitch. I don't give
I
a fuck. I was just like, I don't give a fuck if you where you're from. Where you're from. It's where you're at now. Right? You're in America now. America made your stardom
exactly.
for the
Yeah.
past, 7, 10 odd years. So you want to tell me that you want to skip over Flint, Michigan, where where thousands of people are drinking brown water. You want to tell me you want to skip over the babies and the children that can't get clean water to support this one kid?
Nah, that's not good. I ain't down with that shit either.
Right.
Like, not in that sense. And I'm really hella down like that. I don't understand how the whole world operates with so many people, like, with so much wealth when there is so much, uh, there's third world countries and developing nations out there. I just can't understand it. Can't we, like, balance that out somehow? But
Mhm.
it's just, they say it's just capitalism or whatnot, but, um, it's like, yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy. Like, I'll check him out, but and even in that, like, that I don't even know if they say dwarf anymore. Like, I think that's offensive or
Right.
something. Like,
Like, come on, man. The
you
kid
know,
is, I'm sorry, no offense. The kid is a midget. I mean, that's just that's just what it is. I mean, it's no offense to him. I mean, midgets is cool. Man, I don't fucking, I ain't prejudiced
anybody's cool. Anybody and everybody's cool. If they
anything.
respect themselves and they respect whoever they're up facing, then they're cool.
The crazy thing is when you have to resort to doing this type of shit, like you're not even in your right mind, and I can't even count you as being humane. Do you mean to tell me you want to skip people that live miles from you, or maybe around the corner from your block, from your penthouse, and you want to create all this stuff for one person that's all the way in a whole different country, thousands of miles away? Wow.
Well, it's reality, but
Oh
again,
no, that's the American dream. That's what that is. I
so
don't. That's not part of my reality. That's the American dream. That's what they call that. Because I don't have any amounts to that much money or that much like of a following, but I'm a person that I'm not even from originally from California. but I feed downtown more than people that's from California, bro.
Yeah, dope. That's Skid Row or no?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Dope, brother. That's good to hear. So nothing that's pretty devastating in itself. It must be getting bigger and bigger. I think I saw something about Seattle too. That's in a really, really bad. Well, not a there's similar um, conditions where people are just putting up tents, on the street and just basically making shanty towns and stuff because it's just got the homelessness has got too high. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
San Francisco is a big
Oh, that's the worst. Actually, that's got one of
yeah, it's the worst. Seattle is pretty worse as well. San Francisco is just fucking bruh. Well, San Francisco is more expensive than LA, to be honest, to tell you the truth. So yeah.
Why is that? And that probably would have just come recently, yeah, or maybe in the past 5 to 10 years because like I remember my mother went over there, and I mean I'm sure the problems are there, but like yeah, it must have grown, right? Is it just all
To be honest, that's Hollywood's moon and sun, San Francisco and LA. So you figure out the rest. They
okay.
control that shit, bro. They control that shit, bro, and it's wicked.
Damn, right. Oh well.
Bro, I'm telling you, it's man.
What
And
about conditions in Oakland then? Have they gotten a lot?
bro, that's even worse than San Francisco, and that
Of
shit's right
course.
next to
Well,
San Francisco.
yeah, damn, because like predominantly it was always like,
bro,
has it been gentrified?
hell yeah, bro. To
Yeah.
tell you the truth, Oakland is the worst part of San Francisco. They got rich bums, and then they got the project bums. I'm not, bro. You got to see this for you, bro. You got to see this for yourself.
I'm
They,
fucking
they,
serious.
they allow the rich and or the calm, the people that's gonna be able to get off their feet and live and work and stuff. They allow them in San Francisco. The ones that can't get right, oh, they throw them across the bridge over to Oakland, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, actually, that's kind of quite explaining because I think I saw something about in that same documentary about Seattle. It was crime, right? And all the other states had been lower, lower, lower. But I think it was the homeless, and like Seattle was the second highest, and San Fran was the um, highest, and that just goes to show like far out. It's quite disgusting. Well, I mean, like, come on. But they don't care, do they? In the end, they think like, well, it's their fault. It's their problem. They had choices. They made the wrong choice. You know, they
Yeah.
shouldn't stick that needle in their arm. They shouldn't smoke that pipe. They shouldn't rah rah rah. So,
Mm-hmm. And that goddamn Seattle. Oh shit, bro. West Side Seattle, that shit goes down. People hear about states and they be like, oh, that's cool. Shit. Bro, I was stationed in Fort Lewis, and Fort Lewis is literally like 10 miles from Seattle. Um could be less depending on how you driving, because me and my homies we drove from Tacoma to Seattle in like 11 minutes and got at the club very like just in the nick of time. So, like, it depending on how you drive,
yeah.
but Seattle was not that far away. And when I was on Seattle, I was always on the west side of Seattle where shit was going down because that's where all the clubs was at, and I was doing club promoting and shit at the same time. So like Bro, when I tell you, like, bro, I didn't know anybody from fucking Seattle, but bro, when I started club promoting and I started knowing people, bro, I had people watching me and I didn't even know niggas was watching me, bro. Like, man, I got so much,
Shit.
bro. I got so much love out there, bro. It was so dope, bro. I fucking love Seattle, bro. For real, bro. And I'm talking about not just from black people, bro. I'm talking about Latinos, fucking um Samoans. They got a lot of
Yeah, man.
Samoans there.
Also,
Bro, Asians, bro, it's lit. It's pretty cool, but it goes down. Bro, it goes down. It was a whole different like type of it goes down scenery for me. So I was like, I'm not used to this shit. Like these niggas do this shit in the city, like in the city.
fact, hey, you're thinking shit. It's open air site playing. Like what the fuck's going down? But they're just doing it. They don't give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got into like well, no, I didn't get into. I've been around or in a lot of fucking club shootouts. Yeah, I ain't had nothing to do with that. I ain't never really got shot at the club because I don't get into that shit. I'm like, you gonna shoot me, bro? You might just go ahead and kill me, bro. Because this is gonna be an ongoing war. I don't even have the energy for that. But go ahead and do what you got to do. That's where I would be at. But I don't really have that energy for that. But man, it happens so many times where shit just niggas be popping off, pop, and then I don't even duck anymore. I know who's shooting. They ain't shooting me. I ain't worried.
You can
like,
hear.
like that's how much it was going down like that. Like every fucking club you would go to, like some shit would pop off. But again, I knew people, so I wasn't in the way. But if I end up having to pull up to that motherfucking store and some shit popped up, niggas knew not to shoot me. Cause they would have to fuck with their big homie. And that's what, I was cool with a nigga big homie because I got him like 8 bitches one night. So I mean that's the good thing about club promoting. Niggas like, yo, bro, I got you for life, bro. I was like, bro, it ain't nothing, bro. You can come and do this shit tomorrow, cause I'll be in this bitch tomorrow. He's like, nah, bro, I'm good. Bro, you just gave me 8 bitches. I'm fucking all of them. I was like, oh wow. I was just being cool. That's all it was. And man, bro, it's just club promoting was one of the most like is like one of the most funnest job I ever had, bro. It's the excitement. It's just cool. And you just being cool, you just chilling, You might just be talking to some shorty, you might just end up getting a drink. And at the end of the day, that's all probably what she wanted. But you probably made her fucking night. And that bitch gonna bring all her friends the next day or the next week and just small simple shit like that, or you hooking homies up, or you letting people in the club for free, like that's cool, like it's dope, man.
Good. Yeah, I gotta just go for a sec. Keep going. I'll be back in about a minute. I gotta get a lighter.
Right. Yeah, shit. It came times where I pull up to the fucking club and I was goddamn late on my damn job, but it was cool. Nigga come through, it was raining and shit. Nigga passed through the line, saw a group of nice little bunnies. Yeah, y'all need to come on in the club with me. Stop waiting in line. For real? Yes, you and all your friends. Let's go. Let them in for free. Have a good time. After that, you already know what it is. It's a motherfucking rap. But yeah, Club Hormone was dope. Let's go with the chat. What y'all doing out there?
Back.
Word.
That's better. Oh, whoops. You know how we do.
I had to roll up a blunt.
Dutch Passion and Train Wreck and Candy Kush.
Oh shit, Dutch passion. God damn. Anything Dutch I love, especially Dutch treat. Oh my god.
Mm. It's heavy, eh? It's good one. It's a good one.
Nice. I'm
Nice.
smoking some Diablo OG. It's
Oh,
very
that's nice.
very I don't usually be smoking OGs, but it's nighttime, so this is my little nightcap.
True. I mean, I love that. I don't. Yeah, see, a lot of people get it. I love that OG dense, like just fucking headstrong, big smoke every time. Like, but I understand that it can really make you pretty dope, like slow and doped out and demotivated and whatnot. But the sativa, you can still get things done and whatnot. You feel high, happy high and things. But I just that whole, I don't know. It's just that thing for me. I just want that strong hit, that strong smoke, but you know.
Right. For me, it depends what OG strand it is. But like the most like the heavy ones, they really get me like because I work like when I move, I'll be working at movie sets and in little entertainment sets and stuff. And shit, we can't be smoking heavy because you got to move around and you just be like
Right.
even like some of the people I smoke with, they be like, they're like, oh shit, let's go smoke. I'm like, all right, cool. About to smoke, and I'm like, is that a hybrid sativa or indica? Which one?
They
They're
can
like,
smell it.
it's
They
like I
can.
know you smoke good, but I got shit to do.
You can smell it straight away. Right. What about that CBD? Have you ever? Someone was saying I was watching a stream just the other day, and they were talking about smoking straight CBD. That's where was it? Oh, that's right. It's on that blue pill, red pill, um, no ledge. But they were just saying, the health benefits and things, and they're just getting into smoking these strains which were like really, really high CBD, no THC. And like, I was thinking to myself, what the fuck's the point? But I mean, because there are so many other characteristics in cannabinoids, like other than THC, there's like CGN or CNG or CBH or there's lots of them.
Yeah.
Sorry, but they were just saying they're also just finding out the health benefits now, obviously. But yeah, this fellas was saying. See, have you seen any that are like that, like straight CBD?
Yeah.
Hmm? You
The
tried it?
I mean, I've tried it, but I don't. I usually if I do CBD, I usually do CBD through the vapes or teas. Like I have a few teas in my cabinet that's straight CBD.
Right.
But the only thing with CBD is they just extract the THC out of it, but it still maintain the health properties and everything within it. And that's
Oh,
basically what it's for. It's like they want to smoke and they want to get the health properties, but they don't want to get the high because the high might be too much for them.
yeah. Well,
So
I heard uh, Charlotte's Web a long, long time ago. Who was it was on that. It's on some documentary. That what's his name? They call him the King of Cannabis. Um, he has the greenhouse, I think, in Amsterdam. But not like not to say that, but he was just these guys were saying that they'll make it for this girl, this toddler who had some disease. Her name was Charlotte, so they named it after her and whatnot. But did you find like what sort of health benefits did you? Or, was it relaxing? Made your mind free? Anything? Any difference? What? How do you feel after you have a cup of tea with a CBD?
pain, heals pain, headaches and stuff, body aches. Um, of what I've known for what I've experienced. If you drink, in liquid form in teas and stuff, it helps as well. The same way as well with blood in that form, liquid
Yep.
form, it'll help more with circulation as well in your
Yep.
body. It helps with inflammation as
Yep.
well. Um, and I'm pretty sure it has some other properties as well.
That's dope. Like, I mean, yeah, drinking it is also, yeah, I suppose there's many ways. Well, we don't have them over here. There's like all the edibles such in the way of like lollipops and, I mean, people make them, the brownies, the gummy bears and things, but you just can't get them,
Yeah, well,
at
that's
the
the same
shop.
thing. That's the same thing over here. Like if you go into like even if you go into shops, like they're made by people. You know, there's people that just know how to make them. It's not like it's packaged by like a company or corporation or anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who's that? Huh.
hmm
So there's some hippie out there that's just like, all right, buy these gummies off me.
hmm I mean, there's companies that's getting big, that's building their brand, but it's not like still corporation. Like it's not like LLC, like like a whole LLC brand that's like specifically like for edibles or anything. It's just I believe the people that's growing or having or operating these farms, they're
True.
doing edibles as well. Just
They've
because
got
they
all
have
the ex.
yeah, they have all the access to break everything down in whatever form they have. So anybody who have a farm, they're going through plans to the other vape concentrates or going to breaking things down into keef and hash and edibles as well. It's just if you're growing, you're just gonna hop into all that because you have all that access to do all that stuff.
Right. And if you don't, you're probably going to get approached by somebody who is interested in doing that uh, conversion, the cooking conversion in the kitchen.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah, of course.
what about just to thought off the top that you said hashish? Like, what's the rate on that, like per gram over there at a dispensary?
Or for Keith.
Yeah. Oh no, not for key, for the actual hash, like resin.
Oh, for the hash.
Yeah.
The hash, basically, it's like depending where you get it from and depending on the potency, it can a gram of hash you can easily get a gram for like somewhere between 10, 12, $15 to $20. But you'll get a nice gack of hash, and that shit is lethal. Like every bit of hash I've gotten since I've been out in Cali is just knocked me the fuck out.
Hmm. Most people would be putting it through bowls, or they'd just they would drop a little bit in their roll, like in the joint or blunt.
hmm
But most people would probably have it in a bowl, I guess, like in a cone piece.
Hold on, quick. Dummy
You
said,
wouldn't be.
Chris, why were you harming small animals with cigarette smoke? Um, First of all, I don't bring my snakes in here when cigarette smoke is going on. So you can take that as an answer for that question. Next. I don't smoke around my snakes, so yeah, you can
Well, I didn't get the question. Was that when I wasn't here? I missed what you were saying earlier.
yeah, it was a question in a chat. Canna Dummy asked he said, Chris, why are you harming small animals with cigarette smoke? I don't understand what he was talking about because before I even lit anything, I put my snakes up. My snakes wasn't in here while I was smoking. I don't know where you're getting this from.
Where do you? What have you got, bro? What breed and how many?
Yeah, I have two snakes. I have an albino ball python, and I just got a coral ball python the other day.
Wow, can they be in the same tank together or
Oh,
separate?
no. I mean they can, but they're gonna end up fighting regardless. Snakes aren't that type of
They're
animal.
solo,
Or,
they
you know,
prefer to be solo.
they solo. They like having their own space to themselves. You wouldn't see like snakes run in packs and stuff,
Yeah,
unless
that's true, actually. Yeah.
probably like a sea or water snake or something like that.
What about how big is the albino?
Right now he's about a foot and a half, maybe.
Oh, well,
Yeah, he's like a foot and a half. He's
that's
still
small.
skinny
But
and
yeah,
yeah, he's still
yeah.
small.
But
And the other one is a little bit is maybe like 2 inches shorter than him.
oh, Kanadummy's getting a bit hostile. He's like, "Yo, yes, it was yesterday, Chris. You know what I mean, fool."
Even if he was talking about yesterday, like still, I don't smoke around my snakes. So yeah, I mean, if you meant weed, okay.
Okay, true.
I mean that's cool, but I don't think weed smoke is harming my animals because actually they love being around it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd actually, I mean, I've seen I've seen, different certain pets run away from the owner when they start sitting down and smoking, but other pets come up to the owner and be like, "Let me smell that smoke with you."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's crazy because like when I let my snake out and he's wandering around the apartment, I'll just be sitting on my couch and I'll probably just play 2K and smoking a blunt and he's like I've already like sat him like all the way on the other side of the apartment and usually when I'm smoking he'll come right there next to me.
Well, trip, eh?
He's very chill. Even when I be playing music, he be coming in my studio and shit. I'm like, oh shit, you gonna climb under the door? And Kenna Dummy said, haha, y'all too easy to wind up. I don't think anybody's winded up, but it's I think we're just too chill to even care because we're smoking, bro. We smoking good shit, bro. I don't know what you smoking, but I'm not going into a chat room to wind anybody up.
Nah, I don't know. I've never seen Ken smoking in Canadian, eh?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I never seen him in either. So
No, I know him. He's my friend from Canada. But
oh
Plant Face.
oh oh. Plant face.
But
Oh,
yeah.
goddamn, bring my snakes over there while you sleeping, plant face. Fucking bite.
But yeah, well, I was just even thinking. I was still thinking on those snakes, eh?
Mhm.
What's the like how they? What's the word? They I mean they'll bite you, the python, but it'll kind of infect, right? It'll go all pussy and shit like that.
Nah,
Or, no?
nah,
Oh,
nah.
okay.
It'll just be a regular bite.
It'll
You'll
just be
get
a
a
bite.
cut,
Okay.
you'll bleed, and that's it. The thing is, you have poisonous snake, you have venomous snake. I know it sounds the same. I'm here to tell you, no, it's not the same. All venom is not poisonous. So that's the difference. All venom is not poisonous. Some venom can just harm you or break some things down, but you can still heal from it.
But
So poisonous snakes that got poisoned or poisonous venom will kill you.
if you
So
don't
that's the
get
difference
treated,
from
yeah.
so that's the difference from venomous snakes, poison snakes.
And then a python is a non-venomous snake
Non-venom,
or what?
non-poison, yeah, non-venom,
It's
non-poison.
both too, eh? Okay. So medicine.
No, I think there may be two genes of python that may have some venom, but I don't think it's lethal. But I just actually saw a video on it, but I got to look back at it again to clarify that. But majority of the python families are non-venomous, non-poisonous.
Yeah, because they've got or their method of uh, you know, catching their prey is by clamping on and then constricting around it, right? Like they'll kill it by suffocation or something.
Yeah, depend. It really, it depends. It depends. Just depends on your snake or what you feed your snake and how you feed your snake. Cause like my snake, I feed my snake frozen thawed mice.
Right.
So with my snake, you might majority of the time you're not gonna see him constrict around it because it's dead. But all he
So
really needs to do at this point is just grab it and bite it. As soon as he grab it and bite it, he's just like, ugh, and then he'll lay right there and to see if if it's gonna struggle or try to wiggle its way out. And after you keep him in that position for a minute, then he'll just start swallowing him.
right. Wow, wicked. Eh? How long would it take to digest that mouth? Like, how long do you see the lump and shit?
Um, Majority of the time, it takes about a day. You'll see it about a day. Sometimes you might see it the second day, but at the end of the second day, it'll probably be gone. He'll probably be shitting it out by that day.
Oh,
So yeah, it takes roughly between like a day to two.
it's quite a. So that's and then how often do you have to feed those? Because like snakes in the wild don't catch things, every day and things like that.
Well, it kind of depends because the snakes in the wild are very huge and they get big according to how much they consume, how much food they consume. So if you see a very big snake, like big like anacondas, they're eating, they're eating. But when you have snakes as pets in the captive or captivity, you want to moderately feed them once a week.
Okay, so right, that's all right. Once a week, and then that's something. And then obviously you're saying if you fed it every day, it'll get bigger quicker. Right.
Yeah, and fatter, and you might, I don't think you want an obese snake because snakes could get fat, and that could cause respiratory problems as well.
Oh. And do you have to put anything in your tank, such as like logs and certain stones or whatnot? Oh, you need a light, obviously. You need a.
Well, no, you don't need a light. You don't no.
Uh,
Because I have a light, but I don't use my light for what it's quote unquote used for because I keep mine by a window, so he get natural sunlight. The only reason I use a light or a heating lamp is only to help him digest his food because the heat helps him digest their food better. So yeah, after I feed him, I usually cut on the light because I usually feed him during the day, on Fridays. So I'll wake up early in the morning and I'll probably feed him, and then after I feed him, he'll go in his hide, and then I'll cut the light on and he'll stay in there for a bit. But yeah, the all terrariums need a warm hide and a cool hide because they like to hide in places. So you have to give them like good multiple places to hide. Then a log is optional. It's cool to have. It's not a necessity, but it's cool to have. I do have a log in mine. And then you need a water bowl. So that's basically the essential things that you need. You could add like little plants and stuff in there, or make it more like a wildlife terrain if you want as well. You can get real creative with it. I've seen a lot of dope tanks.
How big is your? You got a 4 foot tank or something like that?
Oh,
Or
I have
actually, you wouldn't even need that. Yeah, you got
yeah, I don't need that. I have a 10-gallon tank, and for the other one I just got, I think it's like a 2 to 5 gallon tank. But I just got him yesterday, so that's why I'm gonna keep him in there for like the month, and then next month I'm gonna get him a 10-gallon tank as well, because he's just about the same size. They're only to be honest, they're only like 3 or 4 weeks apart, so they
oh.
roughly about the same size, and I want to give him more room. So, but for
Can
right
you feed them other things than just the mice? Or does that it has to be meat? Yeah.
now,
Or what? Just
you
trying to
could,
think what their diet. Do
um,
you get like things like snake pellets at the pet shop?
oh hell no.
No.
That I'm not getting him no man-made food.
No, but like they are they available? Is there such a thing?
I don't know. To
No.
be honest, I don't know. I haven't thought of that. I never
Yeah.
even asked
I'm
that.
just wondering. Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm just trying to think. Like I've seen mates that had an eel and some like tropical fish and a lionfish. So he had to get like frozen seafood and stuff, and he'd feed them and they'd eat and stuff like that. Like it's pretty cool. I was just thinking like what else I've seen. Not like I'm not sure if I've seen it like I've seen that thing on the documentary when a mouse eats the frozen. I mean, a snake eats the frozen mouse, but I was just thinking, what else could you feed that?
I mean, you can feed him anything within the rodent family. You can feed him a hamster, a gerbil. I'm pretty sure there's snakes out there that's been eating possums or raccoons or squirrels. You know.
Flies? Can you eat them insects? You reckon? You need a whole bunch of them, but
Well, yeah, yeah. You can't. I mean, you could try to feed them an insect. I don't even think they'll go for an insect because it's like it's too small. You need something big.
yeah.
Mm,
No, just fucking Ken's going off in the chat. He had a massive Burmese, his friend, big
mhm.
Burmese python. He had babies. That's pretty cool. And he's saying that the short-term memory loss of cannabis is not to worry, it's temporary. That's good. Thanks, Plant.
What is he talking about? Who's short-term memory loss? What are you talking about?
Maybe bias. Nah. Look at it. Yeah. I got other things, man. Like it's just it's a joke. It's a joke to some people, isn't it? It's a big joke. So I mean, just the whole this life in general. It can be a joke to people. They don't care. It's like they don't do anything
Right.
positive. But what's
I
the
don't,
example?
I don't get it, but it's whatever.
No, I don't get it. But what's the example for people? But it's crazy. Um, yeah, I'll check that thing. I'll probably hop off. Hey, what's the time? Oh, we're at 2.5 hours. Um, I just saw you posting that thing you put up. Right? What was it? Where is it? TSL, the intro. So
Yeah.
everybody check that shit out. Go on, um, hit it up, sub to him, and then like you'll be able to look forward to the new material, man. It's gonna be dope. What is the Smokers Lounge, boy?
That's the well, basically that's gonna be the little the streaming thing. Well, it was what I'm gonna call my little streaming thing because basically I always post, the Smokers Lounge with God Body, so I just took that name and just like might as well use it.
Yeah, that was it. Make it bigger. So who be on that high grade herb? If you're smoking on it, press 1 in the chat. If you wish you were, press 2.
Right.
And if you're someone that doesn't partake, well, it's all good. It's all good.
Right. You ain't got to press nothing.
I mean, when did you pick up yourself, bro? Like, when did you start toking, and or heavily? Well, when did you first have it, and when did you start heavily toking?
I first started like when I was like 11 years old. I was smoking with my brothers, and my brothers had me try it. So they wanted to see how I would act. So, but that wasn't like I think they got like disappointed because I got hella chill. So that it wasn't like they wasn't expecting that. But like, but yeah, the when I heavily started smoking was, let me see. I had to be like 14, 15.
That was me. I was 14. 14 and like a few months, and I just, once it started, bro, I didn't stop. Like,
Yeah, bro.
it's legit, eh? Like, somebody gave it to me, like, one of my mates, like, he goes, you ever try this shit? So we went, I was at school too. We just went across the road to this normal, like, our little spot, whatnot, and fucking had a few. Didn't hit me straight away, would it hit me hard. And then the next day, kind of thing, the fella was like, oh, fuck it, I don't want it. You can have it. So I had it. I took it and shit. And then from then on, it was just like, I love this shit, hey. I don't know. So I should have a break. The biggest break I ever had was going interstate when I was a teenager. I couldn't get any for like 3 weeks.
The biggest break I had was when I joined the military. Now,
True
I
that.
was in the military for 4.5 years, but that break had to stop like the end of it was like the last few months of my first year.
But
I got
there's
my I got to my studio. Got to my duty station, and I was just like, I'm gonna see how this works out for a good week or two. Man, that second week came, I was like, fuck this shit, smoking, bro.
yeah, like I mean, is it how prevalent is it? I suppose different places, but what you saw, how prevalent were the drugs, and what was the extent of it? I mean, like, was it just I suppose could you go off campus? I mean, or go off like military grounds or whatever, and then come back.
Yeah, we was smoking that shit on campus, man. We was like, fuck that shit. But
So
the thing is, like, I was stationed in Seattle, well, Fort Lewis and Tacoma, Washington. So I don't know if you know about that state, but it's the Evergreen State, and they ain't lying about that. So when they say it's the Evergreen State, bruh, it's the Evergreen. I mean, everything is green year round.
wow,
Everything, everything.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. It smells fresh. Like I used to just step out in the morning and just taste the air just because I could, and it tastes amazing.
Wow.
Damn, damn, it's so good. But the weed is just amazing. You're at a higher elevation, and it's green year round. Like so, it
Yeah.
rains a lot,
But
so it's like everything out there is healthy and fresh. Just think of the weed just being healthy and fresh.
I think.
I'm talking
Well, I
about
mean,
I'm talking about your homegrown
yeah.
outdoor
Yep.
is competing with your indoor.
Oh, of course, of course. I know. Yeah, exactly. You get better outdoor. It's best outdoor, man. You know, like if it's done properly. So, and this thing you're saying the environment is there so that it's all year round. You put it like sometimes it's seasonal. You know, you have to put it in at certain times, but this is all year round. You can do it ready to go.
Yeah,
Environment is perfect.
it ain't seasonal in Seattle. That shit's year round. Any strain you want, they year fucking round. It don't stop.
So, but then I mean, I'm thinking the extent of like how far you get. You know, other people doing like oxys and all these things. But like, because I thought then in my head, the Vietnam War, and that brought back a lot of sort of heroin addicts and things like that. I think, and probably the Afghan thing did too in itself. But did you see anything like that, like folks getting onto maybe amphetamines or uh, prescription?
Hell yeah, man! There was pill
Yeah.
poppers coming into coming in. All right, I was a 42 Alpha, so basically I was a human resource specialist. So every soldier that come into my unit have to see me before anything, before you get to meet your sergeant, before you meet your platoon leader, before you get to see your building, before you get to see your bed. You have to fucking come and see me.
Right. And you
So
could just tell, yeah.
yeah, you could just tell. You knew who was on drugs, who just stopped drugs, who's still on pills because they can't do drugs, who's still on pills because they a pill head. Bro, like it comes in numbers, bro, like in numbers. And then when you see them outside of work, on post or off post, it don't even matter, bro. I've seen the worst.
Oh,
I've seen that shit turn into fucking Vicodin from to OCs going to fucking meth, and I'm just skipping shit.
now, would those people get any chance at, say, like, seeing any field time? Or what? They're just
They
gonna
don't
be,
get caught.
wow. Yeah. That's insane, eh? I mean, it's just the reality of it, I guess. It's out there everywhere, and, you know, you shouldn't be so, what's that word? Like, naive to it. Like, I just would, really, because it's heavy in the jails, like everywhere.
Man, man, you don't know how many sick soldiers we got over there, bro. Like this shit don't even make sense, bro. You thought niggas was crazy going into that shit? Nah, bro. Niggas been crazy, bro. Like motherfuckers
Uh,
just don't just continue to do shit like that. Just nah, you signed this shit and you want to get out and you can't, so you're numbing yourself.
mm,
That's really what it is.
yeah, true. Sad. Oh well, I've never done. I had a friend that actually, really, really. Well, I had a friend that went to. Well, I've had older friends that have served and shit. Sent me some wicked pictures from like Afghanistan and stuff, but couple of younger mates went to the reserves. One guy really, really wanted to get in, but his first test he had a dirty urine, and for 3 years in a row they just said nah. He was like fully fit guy, like would pass the physical so easily, but they just that one little thing they just said nah. Sorry, like every time they couldn't let him in. Then the other fella got he hurt his back. Like he was really good at. He went through our reserve or the cadets and stuff and passed the sniping really well. So they put him on as that, but he hurt his back, so he got out. Or something like that. I'm not really myself. I've, uh, I've never really. I would never, like I wouldn't pass the test, the urine. I wouldn't stop, bro. But anyway, it's kicking all night. It's late, but I might shut it down. It's been nearly 3 hours. Maybe, I don't know. Much appreciation, bro, coming through, getting up. Good chat. That was dope. Peace to all in here listening. Yeah, I'll go again soon, but I'm sure I'll see you on Godbody or whatnot, or someone again. So everybody sub to the family. Get out there. If you see a comment, hit it. Sub the channel, and the shit will grow. Just keep producing content and get out there and do the best you can, bro. You know.
That's what's up, bro. Appreciate you having me. I'm gonna come through and chat it up. It was a great build, great discussion. Peace to everybody else out in the chat. Yo, dummy, stop being a dummy for real, cause like you making yourself look worse. For real, brother. Sun Ray, peace out. Have a good night. Everybody on the chat, have a good night.
Word on that. Peace out. And listen to that dummy. Listen to what he just said, my brother. That's some words of advice. Nah, we love it. Peace to all. Be the best, man. Follow your intuition. Peace, bud.